I'm Silly Foster. These are today's headlining stories. Snoop, I am your father. Too late to hide now, JT. And times are tough for the Royals. Hello, not only is it Friday, today we are 50 shows old. Yep, 50 episodes. Take that, Fawlty Towers. And what a couple of months it's been. When we started this show, the world had never heard of
Joe McElderry.
You know, the guy from X Factor. And Alex Reid was just a cross-dressing cage fighter. Oh well, I suppose it's nice to know some things don't change. First up, while a question mark still hangs over the death of the King of Pop, the circumstances surrounding the demise of actress Brittany Murphy have finally been announced.
A face known to millions around the world, the star of a host of hit movies. Last year, Brittany Murphy was among the leading lights that sadly went out. She died on December 20th. The LA Fire Department responded to a call at her home. She was taken to hospital but was pronounced dead. At just 32, her death was something of a mystery, with many speculating that an eating disorder or drug use may have played a part. But a coroner in the States has now ruled that it was down to pneumonia. Drugs and iron deficiency anemia were listed as secondary factors which contributed to her death, which has been declared accidental. The findings were a surprise to the actress's husband, Simon Monjack, who said he expected her heart problems to have been the cause. While she was experiencing flu-like symptoms during her last days, those close to her said she didn't appear that ill. Brittany was taking over-the-counter medicines, and in fact all the drugs she was found with were prescription. The late star leaves a legacy of work that includes over 30 films, among them Sin City, Girl Interrupted, Happy Feet, and 90s hit Clueless.
Next, still proving he's got the dizzle on the rizzle for shizzle, it's Snoop. I have absolutely no idea what I just said.
Has Snoop Dogg finally joined the dark side? Don't worry, he's not the latest Star Wars baddie. The hip-hop superstars teamed up with Darth Vader and his army of stormtroopers to march through New York's Times Square to promote a new line of Star Wars sportswear.
Adidas has been down with hip-hop since day one. I always liked the Adidas style, you know what I'm saying, as far as what they represent. And, you know, coming together with the Star Wars collection, I felt like this would be a big look for me, myself, Star Wars, and Adidas. So it's a great look for all of us to come together.
It's been a busy old week for the Grammy Award nominees. Snoop was one of more than 70 other performers who hooked up in the US to re-record charity single We Are the World. It's being released to raise cash for the victims of the Haitian earthquake.
It was an honor and a treat just to be there with so many big name celebrities and singers and, you know, entertainers. So it was a treat for me to be there.
The All-Star session happened in the same Hollywood studio where the 1985 original, written by Lionel Richie and Michael Jackson, was recorded.
Snoop Dogg. Someone else who's been on the dark side this week is England captain John Terry. Here's Chris with the latest.
Weekend approaching, he must be feeling the heat. Later he's to meet his England boss Fabio Capello at an unknown venue. Showdown talks to decide his future. The timing couldn't be worse for Terry. A World Cup year, this scandal will no doubt have hit him hard. He's adamant he'll stay on as captain. That's not what the fans are saying though. In a poll out today, 46% of fans think he should be forced to stand down. 39% say he should remain as England's leader. The moral impact of his alleged affair is that over 3/4 of fans think, as England captain, he should be a decent role model for kids. Only 15% think this doesn't matter. Just over half of the people polled by Politics Home say they think the public doesn't need to know about his private life. 44% claim it's legitimate as a news story and it's in the public interest. Whatever the fans think, at the end of the day, won't matter. It's what happens between these two which will decide his fate. More allegations are likely to come out over the weekend. How high he'll be able to hold his head after that will probably determine how rough a ride he has before South Africa.
According to reports, England players and staff have unanimously voted for John Terry to remain in the England squad for the World Cup. With a ban on wags at the tournament, nobody wants him to be left at home. Next, the Duchess of Cornwall makes a trip to the Rovers' return. I'll have half a bitter and a knock pot, please, Betty.
Prince Charles enjoyed a scotch at the Rovers' return in 2000. Now it's his wife's turn for a cheeky visit to Weatherfield's most famous pub. The Duchess of Cornwall, a now not-so-secret Coronation Street fan, followed many a royal footstep down the legendary road to celebrate the soap's 50th anniversary. Camilla was welcomed to the set by William Roach, who plays Ken Barlow, the street's longest-running character. She greeted him with his character's name, saying, "Ken, how nice to see you." Camilla revealed she was actually a lifelong Corrie fan as she met the cast before being invited across the cobbles into the Rovers' return by landlady Liz McDonald, who could maybe do with a few footwear tips from the Duchess. Liz, played by Beverly Callard, welcomed Camilla inside, where she proved she certainly knew her stuff, quizzing Anne Kirkbride, who plays Deirdre Barlow, about her relationship with Ken before being invited to pull a pint.
We're all ready for you.
There we go. So we just give this one a good yank, do we?
Okay.
There we are.
If you take the glass in,
There we
that's
are.
it. Okay.
I'm not going to spill it anyway.
A good tug, give it a good tug.
There you go.
That's
See, I'm a
it.
bit of a
Oh,
pro.
you're a natural.
Brilliant.
Depends how much. Who's going to drink this afterwards?
Andy, you like it, don't you?
Not many volunteers.
Any takers here? Right, good, nice.
Go on, I'll you can serve me a pint.
There you are. It's a nice bit of froth.
That's a great head you got there.
Is that all right?
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Yes, you have to drink
Down and more.
the toast. I bet that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not a bad pint. In the 10 years I've been here, probably we'll have to
It's
say it's
probably
the best pint.
The Duchess of Cornwall giving Jason Grimshaw plenty of head. Next up, one woman who likes to challenge herself, clearly not Vanessa Paradis. It's Fern Cotton.
Fern Cotton is blooming everywhere at the moment. Radio, TV, online, Twitter. You can even wear her own fashion line. Too busy, in fact, to fit in the Oscars. She's right miffed that she won't be there for this year's awards ceremony after attending the last two, mainly because of this year's amazing nominations list.
So yeah, I'm very happy to see Avatar doing exceedingly well in the nominations because I loved that movie. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. So yeah, there's always some shockers in there, but I think definitely the big films that have been nominated have been definitely recognised for the right reasons.
Since taking over from Jo Whiley on Radio 1, she has become even more of a favourite of the nation, similar to her Bezzy mate Holly Willoughby on the other side. And good news, fashion fans, their very.co.uk range is set to be around for a few more seasons yet.
I've got my spring-summer collection out now, and the second part of that comes out soon, and my Converse range is coming out. As well as that, I've got autumn-winter coming out in about July time, so I'm working on spring-summer for next year as well, so it's just sort of ever-rolling, that one. And maybe a bum bag, who knows?
Next, a breakdown of the latest film releases in Movie Buff.
Coming up in Movie Buff, we'll hear from Morgan Freeman all about his new role in Invictus. We're getting funny with Michael Cera in Youth in Revolt. And we're going back to the old school with Disney's Princess and the Frog.
The Rugby World Cup final of 1995 was made to become a movie. Drama, unification, race, leadership, strength, violence, politics, love. Oh, you could go on. Its main stumbling block for 15 years, though, was it was about rugby. But the advent of rugby's growth, due greatly to that World Cup into the fastest growing sport on earth, has finally led to the blockbuster Invictus, telling the story of how new black President Nelson Mandela drew on the strength of their rugby captain, white man Francois Pienaar, to draw together a separated country. So, is it another Ali or Ray? Great performances with no substance? The answer is no. In fact, quite the opposite. Matt Damon is incredibly effective as Francois Pienaar, believable and carrying a similar gravitas to the great captain. Freeman, despite seemingly engineering this film to fulfill a dream of playing Mandela, does not fill the president's boots. In fact, he misses by a distance.
I've been watching them for years. Once I got the notion that one of these days I would be playing him on screen, it became a question of just paying close attention to him every chance I got.
The story also focuses around Mandela's mixed colour security team, microcosmically showing the country's changing acceptances to each other. Unfortunately, other than Welshman Julian Lewis-Jones, the rest of the team are not up to the role director Clint Eastwood bestows on them. Similarly, the need for genuine rugby players and not Tom Cruise playing scrum half or George Clooney at inside centre, the acting standard in the players is low. However, the realism of the live action means that their acting, though commendable at times, is insignificant anyway. Eastwood, who had no prior knowledge of rugby as a game, delivers a realistic and honest display of the change that Rugby World Cup made, and I'm surprised he didn't get a nod for Best Director at the Oscar nominations. If you like schmaltz, sport and an amazing story, go see this film. It is far more than a game.
This is it! This is our destiny! Come on, come on!
It's all about Superbad and Juno star Michael Cera in new comedy Youth in Revolt. The Canadian actor stars as Nick Twisp, a geeky teenager on a mission to pull hottie Sheeny Saunders. Only problem is, despite his very best efforts, she's not interested.
I'm going on a hike. I'd ask you to come along, but you haven't got any hiking boots, maps, or a compass.
No, fine, I do all my hiking freeform. I enter the wilderness with nothing more than a childlike sense of wonder.
Nick, you're very nice, but I just don't have those feelings for you.
Oh, I see.
But Nick is not a boy who gives up easily, and so he comes up with an alter ego called Francois Dillinger, a cooler version of himself, complete with a deeper voice, a moustache, and a bad boy player attitude.
Maybe I could cuddle next to you. Or we could do more than just cuddle.
Nick, you're being so bad.
Why don't you pull down these blankets and show me what you're hiding under there? If that's okay with you.
Is that what you want me to do?
Say yes. That is exactly what I want you to do.
Maybe Francois helps Nick get the girl, but things spin out of control when he gets him into trouble and ends up making Nick a wanted criminal. Based on the popular novels by C.D. Payne, this film sees Michael once again nail it as an introvert teen. It's funny and intelligent, and Michael's got a great cast around him. So if you're a fan of this genre, Youth in Revolt should tick all the boxes.
Seems to me you've got two options. Fake your own death or commit suicide.
If you've ever sung along to Hakuna Matata, Bare Necessities or A Whole New World, well, good news, Disney watchers, as the musical magic is back in The Princess and the Frog.
And anything can happen. I suppose you want a kiss.
But that's not the only old school thing they've returned to. It's also the first completely hand-drawn animation in around 5 years.
It's now something new again because it's been away for so long.
You're looking at royalty here. Well, in the cartoon world, writer-directors John Musker and Ron Clements were behind hits like The Little Mermaid and Aladdin.
We love hand-drawn animation, going all the way back to being Disney fans as kids, growing up and seeing films like Pinocchio and 101 Dalmatians and being so inspired by that. We love digital animation. We love the Pixar films. But we feel like the film itself is kind of about diversity, and we feel like there's room for different kinds of animation.
Set in the 1920s, their latest epic follows an ambitious young girl from New Orleans called Tiana. She's voiced by Anika Noni Rose, who is helping the movie studio achieve another milestone.
I'm almost there.
Playing Disney's first black princess. That deserves a high five.
Okay.
How does it feel to be making animation history?
I've always wanted to be an animated creature. I wasn't even looking towards the person. I wanted to be in animation, and it didn't matter to me what it was. Tiana is very much like me, and so I feel very, very connected to her. I understand intrinsically what that journey is, what it is to have a dream so much bigger than your surroundings.
It's a modern take on the classic Toad Prince tale, but with a bit of a twist. Thanks to a curse from shadowy villain Dr. Facilier, Tiana and Naveen race against time to leap back to their own bodies, along the way finding friends and love. As well as being hilarious from the start,
Women like a man with a big back post.
the songs and performances are on par with all the favourites from the Mouse House. You never miss the CGI. In fact, it has the charm and quality of classics like The Jungle Book. I did have some reservations about the voodoo, but it is shown as a force for good or evil. So move over, Ms. Rose. You're not the only one with a cartoon ambition. Take it away, Andreas Deja.
I've always wanted to be in an animation. What would you come up with for me? What would I be? That's amazing. Reckon I can make it into The Prince and the Frog too?
We'll talk about it.
Well, it was worth a try.
It don't matter what you look like. It don't nobody gonna sing with
That's it. We're 50 shows old today. We made it. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see show 51, subscribe on YouTube. We're like a fine wine, getting better over time. See ya.